Today, we're getting the insights and wisdom from an award-nominated composer and sound designer from Norway, Haakon Davidsen. Projects include Kingdom Rush 5, Evil Wizard, Mars Attracts, and A Little Golf Journey. Haakon, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for inviting me.
So, why don't we start with what are you working on right now?
Right now, I am working on like a roller coaster tycoon game. It's set in the Mars Attacks universe. As you mentioned, it's Mars Attracts, which is you are. It's like the opposite of a fun roller coaster where you are the Martians, and you are trying to make a amusement park where you show off humans from different time periods, which is like a comedy version of that old school roller coaster tycoon game, which we all played back in the 90s. And then I'm working on a deck builder game called Kingdom of Cards. And I'm also working on a game called Little Crossroads, which is like a more cute game, Animal Crossing style, which is uh, oriented towards multiplayer.
So, you're juggling a few projects. Are they all
Yep.
from different developers?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I like to keep busy. I think it's fun to have different types of games to work on because I do find like the most rewarding is to try something new and always try to learn new things and try to adapt to new styles. So I think it's pretty fun to try to do new things every day. So that's why I like to have many projects going on.
So, you're doing this full time?
No, or like it's full time, but it's not my day job.
Do you get pushed outside your comfort zone a lot with these projects?
Yeah, I do. It's since I I'm kind of like I do enjoy being a bit out of my comfort zone because I know there's all the things I can learn. So I do kind of enjoy going out of the comfort zone. But there's also a part where like I have to do some research and listen to like a specific style if the project calls for it. So uh, I do think I kind of like to see the going out of the comfort zone. I think that's a part of uh, part of the whole job, and which is kind of pushes me to learn new things. So I kind of enjoy it a lot to push myself.
When they're giving you direction, are you typically working with reference tracks that they give you, or is it more written prompts?
It's been a lot of different ways. Sometimes they just kind of give me like a few words, like we want it to sound like this, and like or they give me some like emotions they want to the gamers to feel while they're playing, and then I can just do what I want based on that. And some other developers, like when I worked on Kingdom Rush, they have they give me like a written script of what they want. Like they know very well what they want, and they give me some reference tracks. So they are like more specific to what they need. And for projects like Kingdom of Cards, I was more able to kind of form the musical style to the game, and they were open to my ideas to how the game should sound. and I could I had to do it more myself to plan the whole soundtrack there.
How did you meet these different developers and land these jobs?
It's I back in 2017. I was starting out very at the. I did meet on Facebook someone that made some simple mobile games, and they needed some music, so I agreed to work with them, and I enjoyed that a lot, and so I wanted to get more jobs similar to that. But it was I didn't know where to start, and I find it hard to understand how everything worked with networking. So I kind of just did um, what I had, and made some more music, tried to build my portfolio up, and then then we go a few years later, which was in 2020. It was around the same time as COVID started, and I got an email from somebody who had listened to a track on my SoundCloud, uh, and they asked me if I wanted to make some music for his game. So I agreed, and this was well, just I think just a few days after the lockdown. So I worked a lot on that for the first part of COVID, and I got I got a feeling that or something inside me said that I have to I have to give it all I have now, because I think if I don't do a good job here, I don't think I will get this chance again. So I thought, okay, I just have to do my best and deliver something I am proud of, and something that he was proud of as a part of his game. And then he was very happy with everything, and I started to see the whole process, and how it is to work with how it is to work on games. So I just actually sent out a lot of emails to different companies, presented myself, and got a few messages back, and trying to build the network in a. I wasn't trying to push myself onto other people. I was just presenting myself more, and this is me, and I have done this. And then a few people asked me if I wanted to work with them later. So I tried to build myself in a more polite way than just throwing my name at other people constantly. I was trying to just make more friends, instead of trying to do is that a business. And then some people or companies I work with, and they recommend me to other developers, and then the ball kept rolling.
So there's no real shortcut. It's kind of a combination of building up your portfolio and letting work come to you, and reaching out as well, and taking time for those relationships to develop.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is just be patient, because it takes time, and you have to think about other people as friends and friendships. You have to make friends. It takes some time to make good friends, and you have to think about it that way. So it takes some time, and you also have to craft your skill and make a lot of music, and build yourself a portfolio, and show off what you have done.
Speaking of being patient, game development can take a really long time. So how long are you typically on a project, and are you making music over months and years while they develop the game, or do they typically want all of it at once?
That depends a lot on the project. Some projects are pretty short, and it depends like how long they are in the process of the development. When I worked on Evil Wizard, I came in pretty early in the process, and so we I made a few tracks, and some things like later on didn't end up in the game because like those parts of the game were taken away and new parts were added. So that was a project that took like a lot of time in terms of I think I spent 2 years, and the whole game took 3 or 4 years to make. So projects like that, I was more able to form the game with my music because how long it took, like my part of the theme. But with stuff like Kingdom Rush, for example, it was more one area first. I composed music for that, and then we moved on to the next, and then the next, and then I was done. And there's some DLC as well, which I get the date that I have to be done, and then I just have to start. And when I'm done, then I'm done, and then I can move on to new things.
How have you dealt with payments in this kind of situation? Are you getting some up front, some at the end? Or are you getting some as you go along?
That is also dependent on the project. I've done like many different ways. Some people like to like pay little bit at first, and then something like in the middle of the project, and then something at the end. And also some people just pay after when I'm done, like to see how long or how much music it ended up having. For example, if they originally asked for 3 tracks and we ended up with 5, then they don't want to pay 2 times. They just want to like sum it up and just pay 1 time at the end. So it's all sorts of ways that they do.
I noticed you also have a Patreon. How long have
Yeah.
you had that, and how has that been?
Yeah, like my Patreon is I think I started up in October, I think. My Patreon is more linked towards my YouTube account, which where I make covers of video game music. So that is like a part of that to try to because making those covers that I do, it kind of costs a bit money to get new strings and like maintenance and everything for the instruments. So it was like an attempt to try like not being able to pay everything myself, but like if people enjoy what I do, and if they want to, then they can help me pay those kind of expenses to be so that I can continue to do that.
So what kind of content are you offering to the patrons?
They are able to see my covers 48 hours before I release them, and they are also like part of the credits. And I also when I'm working on video games, I get a few keys for Steam that I'm giving away as well to them.
So for those who are watching, they're not just covers. Like, you're dressing up, you're playing all of the instruments, and you're compiling all of the videos into one cut where you're doing all the instruments. So they're actually very cool.
Yeah,
They
thank you.
probably take a lot of time.
Yes, it is like a thing that I started with, because I was a few years back. I was trying to make a video for like a competition, where I play guitar and do some other stuff, and I mix it together. And it was kind of like fun because I haven't really tried any like video editing before. Then I got an email from a microphone company that asked me if they could send me a microphone, and I could use that in a few videos. Then I could get that microphone, and I could keep it. So I agreed to that, and I was like surprised how much I enjoyed also video editing and like playing things myself in and recording. And I also viewed it as a good way to learn how to mix better. I could use that as an opportunity to learn a few more things and to get better at mixing. And I got this good feedback from what I posted. So I thought like maybe I should continue doing this because it was pretty fun. And so it kind of got like an obsession that I think it was a lot of fun because it was something I haven't done before. So I do spend a lot of time doing this, but it's also a fun way to do some creative work that is not just music related, but for something else. So yeah, that do take a lot of time, but I do enjoy the process. So I don't know how many hours I use. They just fly by.
Did you already have accordions and ocarinas and tambourines lying around, or did you buy stuff just to do this?
Yeah, some of them I bought just for the covers, indeed. I did actually have a lot of instruments from back when I studied music. So I had like so especially guitars and bass and piano I had, and then I found I checked. In Norway we have I think something similar as Craigslist, where people like put up used stuff and you can buy it a bit cheaper. So I just checked that to see if there's some stuff nearby that I could pick up and maybe use for something. And so I have indeed like gotten a lot of things just for that. But I ended up using a lot of the instruments for video game music and like for my composing career as well. So it's not that I just use it for that. I try to take the advantage to use it whenever I can as well.
Is your YouTube channel monetized?
Not yet. It's I'm trying. I'm working my way up there, but it's not yet.
Is there anything you wish you knew about video game music before you started?
Yes, there are. It takes a lot of time to work on a video game. It takes a lot of patience, and I was surprised like how long time it can take and like how much patience you have to have. And you talk to somebody and they say they're gonna need something soon and they'll reach out, and then you hear it like a year later that so you just have to be able to stay calm and just wait until everything is ready. So I was a bit surprised by that, but I was also a bit surprised that like how connected people are to the games they play. And I do get connected myself when I play video games, but it's like it was weird to see other people connecting to something that I have done. which was it was like a pleasant surprise. But I didn't know, or I wasn't just I don't think I was prepared to like see so nice comments when I read comments. Uh, I was like surprised that uh, it just felt weird that something I have done can connect to somebody that lives on the other side of the planet. It's that was I wasn't prepared to how good that felt.
That's cool. What is your process like when you're composing?
I had to like get an idea, then I just play the piano usually. There could be other instruments as well, but I usually work on the piano, and then I try maybe I just try to find like the tempo, to find a good tempo to fit how I imagine the track should be. So I just play around with the piano and try to play with the metronome and maybe record a few chords or record a melody. So then I just play around with that and just having some fun, and then I record, uh, for example, an intro just with piano, and then I just try to like find instruments that would fit. That's just that. If it's an intro, maybe I'll add some strings, and then the first part comes in, and I record that, and I try to like find what instrument would fit this melody, and what instrument would fit the overall style of the game that I'm working on. So I'm trying to like connect a few pieces from the sketch track that I have recorded. So it's just like a process to find the ways to build the track up and find a good balance of what I'm trying to achieve.
Are you ever working with sheet music anywhere in your process or your delivery?
If the only time I'm using it is if it's for when somebody's going to record an instrument for me. But usually it's just my head and MIDI.
What are there certain plugins or synths that you can't live without?
Oh, as for I would say it depends that as well on the project. That's some projects I kind of lean towards some plugins, and I lean towards other plugins or instruments for other projects. But I use a lot of Cinematic Studio strings, which is a really good string library, which can do almost everything, or at least everything you mostly need. Then I do enjoy Cineperk for percussion, and I use Berlin Brass for brass and Berlin Woodwinds for woodwinds. Like that is my main template, and it can I sometimes I change out stuff, but that is what I usually work with, because I feel like I like the sound of them, and they make the sound that I think of when I think of video game scores and like big movie orchestral scores. So they are kind of like the sound that I like the best. And as for plugins, I am a big fan of the LA2A compressor. So I use an emulated version from IK Multimedia. So everything you heard from me has that compressor in some way. I like to use it on brass because it brings out some warmth in it, and I like to use it on guitar, and it just like glues everything so well, and it makes it sound so smooth. So the LA2A is something that I use almost all the time.
Are you ever in the game engine doing anything, any implementation, or working with like WYs or Fmod?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff with the Fmod. I also am able to do a little bit in Movies, but Fmod, like, that's my main third middleware project. I'm I can't say I'm super competent within the engine, but I I have done some stuff, and I can make it work. But if somebody can do it for me, then I'm more than happy to let them do it.
Are you ever collaborating with other composers or typically working by yourself?
Yeah, I have actually worked with other composers for some projects, and that is fine. I am a kind of like, I do enjoy having control over everything, like because then I know how everything is gonna be. But I have worked with some people, and it has always just been like a good experience, because then we can focus on different things, and it goes a lot faster than to have to instead of having to do everything yourself. So it had always been a good experience for me, uh, in all projects that I've done that.
Is it always the game developer who is bringing on the multiple people, or are you ever bringing someone on?
No, I usually it's the developer. Like they some developers, like, they want to have more than one composer in the team, just because they like, you have your own strengths and other people have other strengths, and you can try like combine those two. And I do think some developers like to do that, to get the best of both worlds. uh but usually I kind of like to have the control, so I don't reach out to other people unless it's necessary. uh, I just like to know what is being composed, and that I get the control of how everything sounds.
How do you normally split up the work? Are you working on tracks together or doing tracks, each separate tracks?
Yeah, it's usually separate tracks. For example, like, uh, I can work on this specific thing that's happening in this part of the game, and the other composer can work on something that is not related at all to that part. It's more like we get we have our own little things that we work on, and we like it ends up uh, together in some way, but almost never. I worked on like one track together with another composer, uh, but then it's the way I like to work is not always the same that other people like to work, because I like to sit by myself and just play around, and maybe find a sound, and I can play around with that and just keep looping it and going back and forth. And that it's I don't think it's fun to work with someone who does that, because I just stay in my own little bubble and work, and it's not very collaborative way of working. So I think it's better for other people that they don't have to work with me in on together on one track.
Is there anything you do to intentionally practice where you sit down and like give yourself an exercise that's something besides just working on a song?
Yeah, just for learning. There's yeah, I do that a lot with because sometimes you hear a melody, and I try to transcribe that melody, and also then I like to make something that sounds similar, but it's not the same. For example, if they use like a specific scale, then or a chord progression, then I try to like match that in some way, but not to make it so obvious. So it's kind of like trying to find a way to make it sound similar, but it's not the same. It doesn't sound like the same song, but it sounds like it could be, for example, in the same from like the same soundtrack.
If somebody who's just starting out learning and looking for work, do you have any advice for them?
You have to, like I mentioned before, that you have to be patient. That it takes a lot of time to get the ball rolling, but it's worth it if you're up for it. And I actually heard an advice from somebody else, but I think like it applies to everybody, and that is because we always compare ourselves with others. But I think you have to compare yourself with yourself, and just make the things you're working on as good as you can now, and then you will learn probably a lot of things while you're working on that, and the next track you're working on will probably be a bit better. But don't expect to be a John Williams when you're starting out, and nobody will be another John Williams. So just do as good as you can, always, and don't do as good as other people can.
Do you have any big plans or future aspirations that you're working towards?
Now I have the projects that I'm working on now, and like a few others, which I can't talk about now. I think it's like more kind of just build my career and build my name. I think it would be fun to come to that part where somebody can like recognize my name and say, "Oh yeah, I know him from or oh, it sounds like Haakon because I heard him before." I think like that is a long way, of course, but I think coming to that part would be really fun. But like I'm just focusing on one project when I'm working on one project, and just do everything as good as I can with what I'm working on right now, and just build myself and see where it takes me. Because what I'm working on now, I wouldn't even have guessed that I would be working on those things if you asked me a year back. Like my career has just been getting asked to compose for things that I didn't know existed. So I think I just want to see where this takes me.
So you mentioned Patreon, you've got your YouTube, and you also teach lessons too, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Is there any other products or services or anything you want to plug?
I think that is like my main stuff. That I think it's the is that I think it would be cool if people would check out. I do some also some mixing on the side for other people as well. But I think like I think you can cover up pretty good with those things.
Awesome. I'll link those in the video description for people as well. All right. Well, thanks. It was really great talking to you. I learned a lot. I found it inspiring and insightful, and I wish you the best of luck with all your projects.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. It was nice to talk to you. So, and thanks for having me.